Are you on board with me? Am I crazy here, or was this like exactly the way you should be doing it?
Vinny, I like it. We know John Lewin knows this case better than anyone. He's been living it with it for years, maybe even decades. But I like having Habib Balian do the opening argument. We know Lewin is very aggressive. We know he's going to argue the strongest points that DeGuerin is likely going to make, or Chesnoff or Lewis. We expect it to be DeGuerin. I like having Lewin as the closer in this case, just like in baseball. I know you love the analogies. You have your pitcher who's starting. Habib Balian is calm. He's methodically going through the evidence and the instructions. And then you bring in Lewin when the defense has no chance to come back, and he's going to hammer the point home. And hopefully the district attorney's office will finally get a guilty verdict and Durst will get justice after almost 40 years.
Yeah, we'll see on that. You know, we got to see it to believe it. Which do you think is going to be more persuasive in trying to get this guy onto death row, which is what prosecutors are attempting to do here?
Vinny, today's evidence was by far the most persuasive, and we hadn't heard of any of this to date. The opening statements were relatively short. The state started with these motive witnesses to show that Ford was a bad neighbor, an angry person, but the defense did a great job on cross. They're talking about drug deals gone bad, prostitutes, and I'm sitting here scratching my head. Is this really a death penalty case? Well, today we know it is a death penalty case because of what the state did. Minutes within these fires starting, Ford disables his alarm. He's walking back and forth outside of his house. This is the smoking gun that jurors will hang their hat on when they convict him. And I'm glad we finally heard it today, because up until today's testimony, frankly, I was sitting here scratching my head.
Not going to have that. Potentially you don't have Mr. and Mrs. Daybell together at trial?
Vinny, if you're the prosecutor, you absolutely want Chad and Lori together. Try them both, convict them both, but it's not going to happen here. We know that the defense is going to file a motion, severance motion in this case, because really the only defense is to blame one another. We saw it in another trial that started today in Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos. It wasn't me. Lori's going to blame Chad. Chad's going to blame Lori. That's how this is going to go down. So I fully expect the judge to grant this motion, the trials to be severed, especially now that Lori's is going to be delayed because of the temporary incompetence.
That he's just out of the picture, or do you think that Britney will actually be free, like 100% free?
Vinny, I think Britney will be free, and she should be free. There's no legal or factual basis for her to remain under a conservatorship after 13 years. She can take care of herself. Everyone knows that, whether you're a lawyer, judge, or just a Britney fan. Now, to answer B's question, why did Jamie step down? Was it because he finally succumbed to the pressure? Maybe. Let's not forget, he previously resigned as conservatorship of her person, and he was just managing her estate or the finances. Or is it a more sinister reason that he's been milking his daughter, taking advantage of her, and now that former federal prosecutor Matt Rosengart has been hired, he's going to uncover those improprieties and go after her. He told the media today that he wanted to depose Jamie Spears and conduct civil discovery. So maybe it was that pressure that finally got to him, not the public.